Not to be confused with the hyperactive hedgehog, Sonic has been a mainstay of American fast food and cable TV ads for decades. So why are so many people passing on its famous shake served on skates these days? Burgers and sandwiches are pillars of the Sonic menu, and the company works hard to sell them. Unfortunately, some fans believe that Sonic Sammys have been lacking as of late, especially in the beef department. On Reddit, some customers have complained its burger patties in particular have a strange, unpleasant flavor. As one once loyal commenter wrote, "The burgers don't taste like meat. Not sure what's in it, but I won't eat there anymore. It's past nasty."
I call it the nasty patty.
Other Redditors have complained that Sonic burgers give off an unappetizing smell, which is the last thing you want from any meat product. One theory as to why the burger quality has been slipping is that Sonic's ground beef contains some unlisted add-ins. As one person noted, a few years ago, Sonic decided to blend into their beef patties 25 to 30% ground mushrooms in order to use less beef, reducing beef impact on the environment. And that's partially true. In 2018, Sonic did introduce 2 burgers with mushrooms mixed into the patties. They were called Signature Slingers, but they're no longer on the menu. These days, Sonic's website states its burgers are made of 100% pure seasoned beef, so the truth behind these odors remains unclear. Another Sonic product that vegans and carnivores alike once flocked to was the enormous soda selection. And based on some of its recent ad campaigns, it's pretty clear Sonic execs know that's what the people want.
We slayed with these Sonic drinks. Now we just have to come up with some fab names.
The problem is that Sonic's putting more effort into promoting the soda than actually making it. One angry TripAdvisor review titled "Drink Suck" complained that both of the drinks the writer ordered were borderline flavorless. Lots of other reviews cite similar issues of drinks tasting watered down or served with too much ice. A few Redditors have even complained that their drinks have tasted like fry grease, which makes the whole mushroom and beef thing sound positively delicious by comparison. As for the cause of these problems, the general consensus seems to be poor cleaning. Drinks that taste like mold or cleaning products are a weirdly common complaint, and a 2020 health inspection noted that one Sonic location even had dead bugs around its drink machine.
Okay, inappropriate.
At this point, people are getting more satisfaction from hearing that they're not alone in their disappointment than they get from the actual food. As one Redditor wrote in all caps, yes, I've been saying it tastes like used towel or chlorine." It turns out these problems extend to some of Sonic's thicker beverages too. The chain talks a big game when it comes to its milkshakes, but it doesn't always put its money where its milk is. Even at their best, some Sonic shakes fall flat. But it's not just certain flavors making patrons all shook up, it's the way the shakes as a whole are being made. One Redditor said they received the worst milkshake they've ever tasted from a Sonic order on DoorDash. And we can understand their disappointment. Imagine going in for your first sip expecting something sweet and smooth, only to choke on flavorless chunks of ice, water, and whipped cream. Sadly, that's an all too common occurrence for Sonic goers. In the same thread, another customer said their shake looked like it had melted long past its thicker heyday. Admittedly, Sonic offers a few different kinds of shakes, and we don't know for sure what variety these people ordered. Classic shakes are made with a vanilla soft serve base, so it would make sense if they came out on the thinner side. Their Master Shakes and Sonic Blasts usually feature things like cookies or brownie pieces, so you should expect those to be a bit chunkier. Either way, it sounds like Sonic is producing drinks that feel closer to the milk side of the milkshake spectrum, and patrons are starting to take note. Whether they're happy with the food or not, no one likes long waits at a fast food joint, and we get it. Places like that get overwhelmed easily. Employee turnover is high, the customers aren't always patient, and like it or not, cooking takes time. Sonic's problem is that its wait times don't always come from long lines or short staffing. It seems faulty equipment and miscommunication cause delays just as much as a busted fryer does at other spots. One disappointed fan wrote on TripAdvisor they were brought no less than 6 different people's orders before they finally got the right one. All told, it took a full 15 minutes after pulling in to get one drink. And by some other standards, that wait wasn't even too bad. Another Redditor had to wait 40 minutes just for someone to get on the intercom and take their order. The next visit, they waited another 20, gave up, and drove off. Their theory was that there was something wrong with the intercom system, but the staff that kept them waiting insisted that wasn't the case. Either way, moments like this directly contradict some of Sonic's taglines.
At Sonic, you're always first in line because there are no lines.
It might not always hit the mark, but you have to admit Sonic likes to play to the people. And while pickles aren't everyone's jar of brine, the chain tried to win over pickle lovers the world over when they launched the Big Dill Cheeseburger and Pickle Fries back in 2022. And since it put so much effort into getting pickle-heavy products on the menu, it's all the more surprising that Sonic's regular sliced pickles have fallen off in recent years. Just like the burger meat, sodas, fries,
everything you're ever going to do.
People on Reddit have noticed a serious dip in Sonic's pickle quality. One commenter suggested Sonic may have switched from kosher pickles to dill. This is a possibility, as the chain's pickle fries are cut from dill pickles. Whatever the explanation is, they're reportedly not doing the burgers any favors, and the pickle flavor isn't the only issue. One TripAdvisor review says the pickles a customer had on their burger were spicy, like they'd been dipped in jalapeno juice. Now, we like spice as much as the next YouTube channel, but we can totally see how getting an unexpected burst of heat while biting into what you think is a normal burger would turn off some patrons. One of the only fast food experiences worse than receiving spicy food when you ordered it mild is getting your food home from the drive-thru to find out that it's already cold. Unfortunately, cold food is so common at Sonic these days, you can practically expect it driving in. One patron on TripAdvisor had already had bad experiences with their local Sonic, but they decided to give the chain a second chance. It didn't go great. They wrote, "The burgers and onion rings were cold, not even room temperature. It also looked like the burger patties were left over from the day before as they were dry and burnt. And they weren't alone. Redditors have complained about everything from Sonic's popcorn chicken to its burgers coming out of the kitchen limp and cold. It's a problem that seems to extend to stores all over, and even the repeat offenders aren't doing much to change their operations." Fries have never been Sonic's claim to fame, but the chain still found a way to disappoint fans on the tater front when it debuted Groovy fries in 2024. Immediately, the new crinkle-cut fries divided customers. On Reddit, some thought that the Groovy fries looked like an improvement on the old option, while a slew of others voiced very strong anti-crinkle-cut stands. As one wrote, "Reminds me of cheap frozen fries every time. Why not just throw in the cheap dino nugs and feed me like I'm 6 again?" We here at Mashed actually liked the Groovy fries when we tried them out, but not everyone is celebrating. This is at least partially because, instead of just adding Groovy fries to the menu, Sonic got rid of its old fries and left these as the only option. And even customers who don't mind crinkle-cut fries in general are frustrated that Sonic is trying to market them as something special when they're still just fried potato sticks, and there's only so far you can really take that idea.
The crispy, crunchy outside of our tots with the dippability of a fry.
Despite all the conflict, some people still gave the Groovy fries a fair shot, and they weren't impressed. As one Redditor eloquently put it, they taste like crispy grease sticks with a hint of potato. We doubt that anyone's going to Sonic for its nutritional value, but that doesn't mean they want their food served in a bag dripping with grease either. Sadly, too many online reviews are reporting the drive-in serving food absolutely drenched in oil, and it's impacting the taste and texture. Don't get us wrong, we're perfectly ready to see a bit of grease on our onion rings or fries when they come out of the fryer. But there's a big difference between a pleasantly moist chunk of potato and a wet cheeseburger, and it seems like Sonic is having trouble finding that line as of late. One Redditor suggested that the cause of this change is that Sonic added smash burgers to its menu, but we're not so sure. Sonic did add the Sonic Smasher to its menu in 2024, but adding one menu item shouldn't have such a drastic effect on the food quality as a whole. The other explanations could be the fryers themselves. An overcrowded fryer can prevent food from cooking evenly, and if the oil hasn't been heated properly, the food may absorb more of it as it cooks. Shrinkflation is an all-too-common part of buying in the modern age, and it sounds like Sonic has gotten hip to the trend. In particular, customers have noticed Sonic's burger patties are getting smaller while the price stays the same. We don't know exactly when it happened, but Redditors have found the burgers to be a bit thicker and shorter than they used to be, and it sounds like it's not just the beef. Another person wrote, "They are shrinking everything. The sausage patties are a half-ounce smaller. They got crappy small chicken patties." With the exception of items like the quarter-pound double cheeseburger, which has its weight in the name, Sonic's menu doesn't clarify how much meat comes on any of its sandwiches, so these claims don't have too many stats to back them. And one Sonic employee actually said they've encountered the opposite problem. They reported that Sonic's manufacturer has been sending out patties that are too thin and don't stay in one piece after cooking. But whether they're too large, too small, or too thin, all these complaints suggest that quality assurance has fallen by the wayside at Sonic HQ.
I mean, it's not bad. It kind of tastes like chicken.
It's a phrase we've all heard people use to describe unfamiliar meats, but what happens if the chicken you order tastes like something else? Well, that's yet another problem Sonic fans have encountered in recent years. One angry diner mentioned their chicken tasted like glue and rubber, and we can't think of a single food item where that would be a perk. They suggested that the meat they received had been artificially synthesized, since US officials approved several companies to produce cultured meat in 2023. There's nothing on Sonic's website to suggest the chain's using anything but real meat, but either way, those customer complaints are very real and very much a problem. Another plausible explanation is that the meat is just coming from the less desirable parts of the bird, which is fairly common in mass-produced breaded chicken. Alternatively, the chicken people order may be sitting around for a while before being served, which could also impact the texture and taste. A Sonic employee on Quora stated that it should take 5 minutes to make crispy chicken fresh to order, and if it gets to you any quicker, it may not be fresh out of the fryer. In In fact, that same post stated that employees are expected to deliver your food within 3 minutes after you place an order. So odds are at least some of the food Sonic is serving is prepped and heated in advance, and that doesn't make it any less rubbery. It turns out grease, size, and texture aren't the only issues plaguing Sonic's menu these days. And while plenty of people rely on frozen entrees for an easy meal when they don't feel like cooking, some Sonic customers are getting a rude surprise biting into their sandwiches. Sometimes the food just tastes like it was frozen, which isn't a huge surprise at a big chain like Sonic. Of course, Sonic charges a lot more than the frozen aisle at the grocery store, so that unmistakable tint of processed frozen food probably isn't what most customers are looking for these days. As one Redditor described it, Sonic food is unironically worse than school cafeteria food. It's like Walmart-branded frozen food. In fairness, Sonic employees have confirmed that almost all of the chain's food comes in frozen, so instances where it's being served not fully thawed are probably just one-off mistakes for the most part. But regardless of how frequent of a problem that is, even a single chicken patty that's still cold in the middle won't do Sonic's reputation any favors in the long run.